What is going on, guys? This episode of the Natsu no Taizai satisfied all of my jbDAuchiha needs. It was delicious and nutritious. But there was one part that pissed me off, and the funny thing is, I'm not sure if it did piss me off when Diane, after the whole Gauther was a doll thing, which was crazy, by the way. I wasn't expecting that at all. When she said something about the captain, Meliodas, her eyes started to glow and her head's all fuzzy, which may have confirmed my fear of last episode. Maybe before Gauther turned himself in, he did manipulate her memories and she's fangirling over Meliodas again and maybe forgot the thing about King again. And I'll be pissed off if that is the case because I love their relationship, although they don't really have a relationship. But in the flashback, when they were together, it was like the most kawaii thing ever, and they deserve each other, man. And that's what I think is going on with this, because earlier, right after the Gauther fight, when Meliodas showed up on the scene, she was like, "Oh, Captain, you came for me." Kind of how she was fangirling over him in season 1 before she got her memories back of King. So it just seems kind of similar to when she didn't have those King memories and she was all in love with the captain. And if that's the case, I'm going to be pissed off because King is going to come back soon, I guess. I hope anyway. And I was looking forward to seeing that confession that Diane wanted to do in like the first episode of season 2. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Diane, but that's what it's looking like to me. And second thing, Gauther being a doll, I think it said that he was created by a very powerful sorcerer in the past. Who is that sorcerer that can make this doll appear human-like and give this doll, like a plain old doll, all these magic powers to be this badass? It's obvious that Gauther is unstable. Even after the fight, he was like, "Hey, lock me away, put me where no one else can find me." So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe the magic in him is becoming unstable, because I think that's what Merlin was giving him, those purple pills. Like, I think they were magic stabilizing pills or something like that. So I think it's safe to say, without offending anybody, that Gauther is off his meds. Like, literally, that dude is psycho. And also, I like how Meliodas is like, I've seen all kind of creatures and beings in my life, and Gauther is still a part of the 7 deadly sins. You know, it hasn't changed. He's still Gauther. I really like that aspect of Meliodas, and it's obvious that he has seen many things, because I think in episode 1 or 2, it was confirmed that he's like 3,000 years old or more, and he obviously knows about this golem. And let's talk about that scene with that golem. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. When Meliodas got that sacred treasure back and his body pulsated, I was like, oh, we're about to see some shit. And how he, man, okay, so I don't know if I want this spoiled for me, but that technique he used when there was 5 Meliodas, or Meliodi, I don't know. When there were 5 captains, was that just because he's just that fast, or is he really on some Naruto shadow clone shit? Because there have been plenty of anime when characters are just so fast, it looks like there's multiple of them at once. So is that the case here, or is there really 5? Like, can he really multiply himself thanks to that sacred treasure? But that scene was dope. We saw that big demon golem, I think, in one of the trailers, so I thought we were going to get a bigger scene from him, but no, he was just a fodder to show us exactly how badass Meliodas can get when he got his sacred treasure back. I mean, there's apparently more of them, because at the end, we get this tall, skinny version that looks way more dangerous at the end in the Fairy King Forest or whatever, so I'm looking forward to that. And how Bond is going back, you know, every so often and literally giving the forest some of his own blood. That's pretty cool. That's why Bond's my favorite character. He and Elaine's relationship it's by far my favorite. Just the scene, although it was like maybe just 2 or 3 episodes, when she kissed him and gave him the Fountain of Youth water, I was like, man, this series is going to be amazing. It's going to go places, because at the time I was still kind of new to the series, and I see why I felt like that back then. So I really hope Elaine does get revived, because Elaine and Bond have been through some shit, and they do deserve to be together, in my opinion. So I hope when she comes back, she's not like, you know, how the typical, you know, someone comes back from the dead and they're not all right in the head. Hey, that rhymed. But anyway, I hope she's not like a zombie or she's evil when she comes back or something. I really hope she's just Elaine, and Bond and Elaine get somewhat of a happy ending. I forgot to mention this last week in my review, but how Bond is the Fairy King. You know, I always figured that it was more to being Fairy King than just, you know, all the fairies liking you, whatever. I think the right-hand man or woman fairy of the Fairy King for generations said something along the lines of, like, the tree has to choose you, and she called Bond nothing but nourishment for the tree. I'm like, that's a sick burn. And in actuality, King is still pretty much the chosen one, but he has to, you know, prove himself. He has to work his way back up into the king, you know, the Fairy King or whatever, and I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. I never thought Bond was going to be the permanent king. Like, he's just there because he helped everybody out and he's bringing the forest back to life. But King is, of course, going to be the king later on. At some point, he's going to prove himself, maybe in this fight coming up against that huge demon golem. Maybe, you know, he protects everyone and whatever, and then he's dubbed the king again, but like he's loved again, or I don't know. But it's completely obvious that Harley Quinn will be the Fairy King again at some point. And in this episode, we got, I think, like 2 or 3, maybe more, of Meliodas' demon brethren's name. I can't remember any of them, I'm sorry, because it's the first time I'm ever hearing them, besides when I read the manga, like, literally, like, 3-4 years ago, so you can't blame me for forgetting. But they look pretty badass, especially the older one with the gray or white hair that was just laying back. And I don't know what's going on with him, but he and the one that looks like Meliodas with the black hair look really, really badass. And I'm really enjoying this series so far. Like, season 2 couldn't have come at a better time because, like I said, I just rewatched season 1 like maybe a month or so ago now, and I was waiting for this for such a long time, and I'm just re-hyped to see exactly what this demon clan can do. And I may be looking too much into things, but now that we got a comparison, because Elizabeth was having a dream at the beginning of this episode of Meliodas and what she thought he would look like in that poster that had him looking older, and that poster looks a lot like the brother with the white hair. I may be tripping. I may have to look at them side by side, but that illustration in the wanted poster of Meliodas looks just like one of his demon clan brethren. But this episode was pretty solid in my opinion. I don't know how many chapters these episodes are eating up, but it seems like we got a lot of content. We got the end of the Diane versus Gauther fight, which is epic, by the way. She threw up some straight up Naruto hand signs and made those clay dolls. And I believe those are the same clay dolls she made when she was in the cave with King, although of course back then they weren't that big or anything. But I think they're the same ones. I think they have the same names too, which is pretty cool. Meliodas got his sacred treasure back. There was a huge fight, and of course all the scenes in the Fairy King forest. Like, there was a lot covered in this episode, and I don't know how fast-paced the manga is, or rather I forget, but I'm liking this so far. Like, there's like almost never downtime, and I'm really, really enjoying this, especially with characters as powerful as Diane, Meliodas, Bond. It's always good to get to the action while also getting story. It doesn't feel like any stories being left out, to me anyway. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Was it as delicious and nutritious for you? This has been jbDAuchiha. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.